Yes, hello, crypto allies. This is Shankar Consulate with Crypto.lifestyle. Are we ready to look at the markets? Are we ready? Are you ready to look at the markets? Because we are at a very pivotal point in a sense, and it is really up to you to look at the data and make up your mind. Are you going to be bullish or bearish? What's going on? What are you going to do? And I can tell you that as someone who has decided to live the crypto lifestyle, right now it's been really tough. I mean, we've seen the market be really tough on us, play all the tricks that get us into our bull traps and bear traps. And I want you to know that it is part of the game, really. One of the really tough elements of living a crypto lifestyle is accepting that you cannot always just go forward all the time. You have to, in your mind, be able to zoom out a little bit, and instead of accepting only profits, you have to be able to see 2 steps forward, 1 back, 3 steps forward, 5 back, 10 steps forward, 2 back. You get the idea, right? And then you look at your weekly and at your monthly results, and then you decide for yourself whether you are actually profitable or not. Also, this takes a lot of time, and it's a very tough mental game. One of the most important aspects in crypto is to have people that are your community. So you need to have a platform of some sort where you can go to and say, hey, this is happening to me now. I'm in this situation. I feel like a fool. Am I wrong for being bullish? Am I wrong for being bearish? That's essentially what it is about. And if you stick to a plan, and if you always follow the data, and if you always look at what is the highest probability right now to happen, then you could be one of the chosen that can truly live a crypto lifestyle. I want you to be part of this lifestyle. And if this sounds very appealing to you, then go to crypto.lifestyle. It's a landing page. You enter your information, and then you will be the first to know. Well, first of all, you get a thank you video that shows you in a beginner-friendly way how you can get started with buying Bitcoin in a dollar cost averaging strategy. But also, you will be the first to know when I have my next 2-day bootcamp, which will probably be sometime early May. So definitely sign up for now. And also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're going to look at Bitcoin right now, because the Bitcoin is the father of all crypto. And when Bitcoin goes up, the rest of the market goes up as well, sometimes in a delayed fashion, but everything follows Bitcoin. So it's very important to use it like a compass, to use it like a gauge, and make your other decisions based on that Bitcoin movement. Okay, so what I always want to know is, what is the big trend, what is the short-term trend, and what is also the short-term to medium-term prediction in terms of, are we still in the bull phase or are we in the bear phase? All of that is what we're going to look at. If that sounds good to you, give me a like, and then we'll get this show, as I always say, on the road. Let me find my little intro video here for you. Yep, here we go. Okay, so here you see the Bitcoin chart. We are on a 4-hour time frame, let me go on a little bit of a higher time frame, on the daily time frame, and then we'll zoom out for you, so I can basically tell you what has been going on recently. And it is to no surprise to you probably to see that essentially what has happened is, here this was at the beginning of the Trump elections, and then we saw the Trump pump taking us at some point to about what was this, 108,000. Then we've seen this long, if you will, consolidation phase here, right? Long consolidation phase. And especially, essentially, everybody was asking themselves, are we ready to continue the next leg of the bull run and pump to those all-time highs that we've been dreaming about? Experts and industry leaders were talking about numbers as high as $250,000 for this cycle. And what happened then, especially because of Trump's tariff wars, we are basically taking a break, and a huge break that is, because as you can see, we're shifting from a uptrend. This was definitely a macro uptrend, to going sideways, if you will, and we're looking at very high time frame here, into a downtrend, which is what we are in right now, a macro downtrend, definitely. And one of the rules in crypto is the trend is your friend, and never go go against the trend. However, we also learn in as one of those adages is, the trend is your friend until the end of the trend, right? So the name of the game is knowing when is the end of the trend. And that is where technical analysis comes into play. So one way of finding out what the end of the trend is, at least this short-term trend, is to look at this downtrend, which is the blue line, and see can this downtrend be pierced. And this is essentially what has happened recently. You see the Bitcoin price pierced through this downtrend ever so slightly, and now we are in this situation here where really we have, as a world community, we have to make up our mind. Are we going to continue this this piercing of the downtrend and work ourselves? The bulls have to step in. One key level is this one here, last week's Wednesday high. I marked that in yellow here, which was around 85,297. If we break that level, I believe we can definitely push to 95,000, right? Because that is where a strong wall here is sitting, and that's going to be a difficult level to break through. Very difficult level to break through, especially because, generally speaking, if you look at this here, this was a reversal of the uptrend. So to reclaim that level really properly, we'd have to really make sure that we have multiple candle closes in the 99,000 region. But that is for a little bit later down the road. The more immediate thing that you have to ask yourself is, what do you think is going to happen in the next, let's say, 2 to 3 weeks? What is the likelihood of us touching the $95,000? And then what's going to happen next? Well, I mean, as always, I don't have a crystal ball to look into, so I don't know the future. But what I kind of think is going to happen is something like this. We're going to we have a high chance of pushing to 95, and then we will see a strong rejection, and most likely that rejection will take us down here to to this region again. That's kind of my gut feeling, and the reason I'm saying this is because crypto, as you know, follows the stock exchange, follows the stock market as well. So if we look at the S&P 500, you can see we go on a weekly time frame, very high time frame. You can see we are really struggling here. Okay, really struggling here. If we put in the moving averages, the 200 and the 50 and 200, where is it? Why don't I have that in here? Okay, so if you don't have that, you go to indicators and you look for the cross indicator. That's a very important indicator. And essentially what happened here on the daily time frame is that yesterday we had this death cross happening on the S&P 500, and that doesn't happen very often. But when it happens, it's often the start of a recession. Here you see that was yesterday. So we have the 50-day moving average, which is a shorter time frame, crossing the 200-day moving average, and that is a very bullish, a very bearish event, right? But what happens often after the death cross happens, the price pushes back up to this region. This acts like a magnet, and then it rejects. Then really the recession kicks in. And this movement here is also known as the kiss of death, by the way, the kiss of death. So again, this is why I believe there is a high likelihood that on Bitcoin this will happen. This, like, we're going to have this upward movement, which is caused because we have the death cross being like a magnet right now, and then the kiss of death will send us back down into maybe a more bearish phase. But nobody knows how long that bearish phase would take, because I am still convinced that it is entirely possible that this is just a short-term kind of, macro-wise, this is a short-term bearish phase, and then we can still kind of go to put in a final spurt before we have that end of the cycle. But nobody knows. At the end of the day, you have to take it day by day and look at the data every day. So one piece of data that I wanted to show you is the following. And this is a little bit more bullish, by the way. So let me get rid of all those drawings for a moment. I'm just gonna hit the back button. Okay, there we go. Just gotta clean up all of my... Oh, okay, this is good. So for those of you who don't know, there are a lot of reasons to also be bullish. So one reason is here on the RSI, which is an indicator essentially that shows whether Bitcoin is oversold or overbought. And the RSI, I don't know if I can make this bigger for you. I probably can. All right, where did it go? No, I took it away entirely, huh? Come to indicator, type in relative strength index, double click it. Here it is. And then I want to make this large, collapse, maximize. Okay, here we go. So the RSI on the daily, also you can draw this trend line like so. And as you can see, I recently also broke that trend line, kind of similar to what Bitcoin did, right? And that is a bullish indicator on a high time frame. So on the daily, we have this going on, and on the weekly, it's not as clear just yet. Okay, it's not as clear just yet, but those are definitely, that's like a bullish element. So that's the RSI, which is what traders use as an oscillator to basically give ideas of whether the momentum goes up or down. up or down. And typically, by the way, the 70% and the 30% are those boundaries where if you are up above the 70s, then the asset is oversold. So there's, overbought. So there is a chance that it will go down. Whereas if you are underneath 30%, then there's a risk that there's a chance that the asset climbs in value. So this is one of the indicators that a lot of day traders use to time their entries. And of course, you can have those, you can look at those indicators on the weekly, on the daily, on the 4-hourly, and that's essentially the shorter the time frame, the more volatile these indicators get as well, right? But the daily is a good one to look at for long-term investing, right? For swing investors, as we say. Okay, so let's go back and look at the Bitcoin chart here, because I want to tell you about the correlation between Bitcoin and M2. M2 being the cash reserves worldwide. Basically, if we take all of the checking accounts, if you will, of the world and put that money power together, that is what we call M2. And M2 has often been a leading indicator to what Bitcoin is doing. And typically, if you shift the M2 chart by 105 days, it very often correlates very, very closely to Bitcoin. So I'm going to show you how to do that. There's an indicator here that is called M2 Global Liquidity Index, is by Christian here. So you would activate that indicator, and you can see here in yellow that it overlays that indicator onto the Bitcoin chart. Now, I told you need to shift it by 105 days to see that there is a strong correlation. So the way you do that is you come to your M2 Global Liquidity Index indicator, you hit the settings wheel, and you offset it by 105 days. That is what will get us. Look at this. I mean, type in the chat if this is crazy how much that correlates here. So now the good thing is we have an offset of 105 days. So we get a glimpse into the future of Bitcoin. Now, this is not 100% like always correct. There's deviations sometimes, but it is just another element of calculating our probabilities, right? And because of that, now remember, the death cross and the kiss of death, they make an argument for it stopping here and then reversing, right? But the M2 Global Index here suggests that if we push through this level here, 88,000, then of course 95. If we push through this, then we can indeed have a final leg of the bull run, which could push as high as 125,000, which is what a lot of experts say that could happen, right? So what do you do with this? Well, you have to calculate your probabilities of what you think will happen, right? And again, what I think will happen, and it doesn't mean that I'm right, but what I think will happen is, let me zoom in a little bit closer onto just this section here. What I think is likely to happen right now is that we will get this push short-term bullish into the 95,000 region. And then because of the kiss of death situation that I explained to you earlier, we'll probably see a pretty strong rejection that takes us back to the range low here at the very minimum, if not lower. that's what I see for now. So if you are a trader, you can work with this, right? You can open a long position here, and then short here, which is what I'm doing, by the way. And as I said, you use Bitcoin as an indicator to what happens to other coins, and maybe your short-term trades you do on other coins. One of the trades that I'm building up as a spot position right now is on SUI, because I think that the chart looks very favorable for that. So here, actually, let me remove the global M2 from this one. Okay, so SUI, and the principles always kind of look similar. SUI has seen this downtrend for like ever since February. Okay, so price has touched this trend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So often enough, right? This is the downtrend, and now here we've broken trend. We also broke trend here, by the way, right? But then I believe Trump did. This was the tariff war situation, okay? But I believe we could have. I mean, look at this. We could have really pumped here, but it didn't happen. That's fine. So now we have another shot at it. So we're breaking trend here, and then what you have to ask yourself: what is Bitcoin likely going to do? Well, I told you now multiple times, I think there's a high probability it will push to 95,000. When Bitcoin does that, other coins will do that as well. Okay, so when you look at this chart, you can clearly see that there's going to be a resistance to be expected around here. Okay, so let me put in like a red area here. So here, which then means probability, in terms of speaking about probabilities, I would create a trade similar to this one, right? Which is the one I am building right now. But here's the thing. This is where the mental part comes into play. You have to be mentally strong while you are building your position here in this red area. Sometimes you see a negative amount on your trade, and that's where you just have to stick to your theory, your thesis, I should say, where you believe that Bitcoin will rally up to 95, and as Bitcoin does that as well, SUI as well will do this. And what kind of move is that? Well, that is a 25% move, and that is something that could happen in a matter of a week or two. So this is how you trade. If you want to take those trades, that's definitely up to you. I recommend doing trading with other people's money. You can do that on Bitfunded, and all of those things you learn as you join my community, which is why I want you to go to crypto.lifestyle right now. The link is blended in at the bottom. And what you'll get immediately is a welcome email with a beginner-friendly video that teaches you about how you can start dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. Because what I'm talking about here, this is a lot, right? It's really a lot. And I've been doing it for quite a while. This is something that needs to be learned step by step. And you're gonna lose a lot of money on your way, but also make money, and hopefully make more money than you lose. And that is why you want to be part of the crypto lifestyle, because that's how you learn to make more money than you lose. Okay, I think that's what I have for today. If you have any questions, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you have any questions. I definitely would love to see what's on your mind. But essentially, this is a very exciting time in a way where we are in a situation where we could potentially place some very profitable trades. By the way, I have to tell you this. One way that I like to leverage my understanding of this price movement is to trade via liquidity provisioning. Okay, for those of you who don't understand decentralized finance, DeFi, let me just tell you that you can leverage the knowledge of knowing that the price is likely to go up, and then you can make money while that is happening by providing liquidity positions. So this is something that I like to do to have my cash flow constant, to not always rely on the trades going right or wrong, but it is, of course, something that needs to be learned, and it's an additional layer on top of this foundational stuff, which you could argue that it is not also not also simple. But nothing in life that is worth doing is simple, as you know. And I will say that one thing crypto has given me is a lifestyle that a lot of people would really like to see for themselves. First and foremost, location independence is huge. You can do this from just about anywhere in the world. And if you follow me, you've seen just in the past 3 months, I was in Amsterdam, in the UK, in South Africa. And so that is huge. And you can focus on really, really being where you want to be, with whom you want to be, honing some skills in your life, or taking care of yourself, right? And this is something that Andrea and I, for those of you who don't know Andrea, most of you probably do, but she's my partner in business and life. We really care a lot about also investing a lot of time and energy into our health and into our mental wellness, and into our having mindsets of prosperity. So anyway, I don't see any more questions, so that's fine. Please make sure you join the list here with crypto.lifestyle. Secure your free video on how to get started in crypto. There's nothing to lose. Just learn from someone who's walking the talk. That's what I always say. And then I'll see you very soon. I am traveling, and as you can hear, maybe I have a little bit of a cold going on, but we're gonna get past that, right? And you are joining me starting now on this journey, a real journey where someone really lives the crypto lifestyle. And you can do that by definitely liking this video and also subscribing if you are not doing so already. All right, be safe, and I'll see you very, very soon on this platform. Thank you for now.